Hello, and welcome back to the Everything Happens for a Reason podcast. So today we have another guest with me today, Lauryn.
Yeah.
So I've actually known Lauryn quite a long time, and we went to the same school together. We did.
Yeah, I think you were like the year above the 2 years.
Yeah, I think. What age are you?
24.
Yeah, so I would have been the year above. And the reason I brought Lauryn on board today is because she is running her own business, a very successful business at that. And I thought we would just talk a little bit about setting up your business at such a young age, how you got into it, obviously the struggles that come with that, and essentially how you got to where you're at today. But can you start by giving us a little bit of an introduction about yourself?
So I am a makeup artist, beautician and cosmetic brand owner from Tyrone. Starting off the business, I kind of just fell into it. Like, I always loved like beauty and stuff. But I left school and then I was working in a shop, and I was actually going to do my management in the shop. And then, you know, at the end of the day, when you're cashing up at the end of the day and you're seeing how much money they're making and you're getting like £11 of it, I was like, I can't do this any longer, and like working so hard all the time. And then I seen a salon in Dungannon just randomly. I've always loved makeup, but so randomly they just put up that they were hiring a makeup artist. So I just applied for it, and then I went and done like an interview. It was like do makeup on someone. And I done that. I was not confident in it at all. Like, hadn't a clue, hadn't a kit. I was using like my eyeshadow palettes, like the James Charles one from like 2015.
The multicoloured one?
Yeah. I'd done this big purple eyeshadow and I actually didn't get it. The job, someone else got hired, and I was raging. Like, I was so sad and gutted. And I was like, oh, just go back to Iceland, I guess. And Mummy was like, oh, well, we'll build up your kit if you want to do it. We'll make you a space at home and you can just do it on the side. And I was like, oh yeah. Built up the kit, and then they actually messaged me that they were hiring again if I wanted it. And it just kind of just fell into me. And then I went to tech and done beauty, a night course. And then just the rest is history from there. So it kind of just came to me.
I love that. And did you ever think that beauty was a route you were going to go down initially, or were you sort of like coming out of school confused as to what you wanted to do next?
I actually wanted to be something to do with mental health, like mental health nursing, or like a social worker or something like that, like a high paid just working job that you were actually doing something different. And I done that in tech, having social care and the case studies. I was not hard enough. Like, I was coming home being like, oh, I could not do this as a job. So then I left that, and then whenever I was in the salon, I was like, I'll just do it on a Saturday and stuff. I always loved beauty, and like from I was no age, like Mummy always said about I would be in bed sleeping, and she thought I was sleeping. She'd come in, I have this full face of makeup on, watching like YouTube, like Zoella era, and she'd be like, what are you doing? Like, go to bed. But I just loved it. And I never really thought, and like, you're always told that you're never going to make money off something like that. Like, from a young age, you have to go in and do something educational to make money. You can't go and just like open a business, or you can't go do something fun and actually make a living off it. So I always just thought it was like a side hustle thing. And then whenever I actually got into it, I was like, no, I want this to be my full-time job. Like, I love this and I'm actually good at it.
Absolutely. And so funny how you said that about the side hustle thing, because I was the same with personal training. Like, coming out of school, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, not a clue. And I was going to go to university just to be a sheep, literally, like just to follow the crowd, because I didn't know what the next move was. And that was like all because of school, because like you said, in school, like, running your own business isn't a thing.
Yeah,
you just become a manager, and they tell you that you need like qualifications for that and everything else. But yeah, school, do you think school is a fraud?
Definitely. I think for the social aspect of school, like, it does build your character and stuff, but I think the age that they want you to have everything figured out is so wrong. Like, I'm just lucky I fell into what I love at such a young age, but I know people my age now still haven't a clue, and they're so stressed out about it because they think they have to have everything figured out. My mummy's in her 50s and I'm pretty sure she still doesn't have it figured out. Like, you learn it on the way, but I think school opens your eyes to different things and different pathways, but the way they push it, I think, isn't right. Like,
Yeah.
they have to let you do your own thing where you're told, if you're not... I was never book smart. Well, I thought I wasn't book smart. I was always told I was never book smart. I was creative smart, people would say. But now that, like, I love, like, the actual business side as well as the creative side, I realise I'm actually so much smarter than I was ever told. I was always told, oh, well, you're not as smart as, like, the people that are going and doing sciencey things or, like, maths things. But I just have a different kind of smart, and I have to actually love something to realise, oh no, I actually am quite smart.
100%. And like I always say about, you have to fall into a field from passion.
Yeah.
You have to be passionate about what you're doing, because if you're not, no matter how smart you are, you're going to end up being miserable in that job. You know, if you are just following what school told you you're going to be good at, they don't know you. They don't know you as a person. You don't know yourself as a person. Like, you're forced to choose your A levels, which essentially will take you to university when you're 16. I'm 25 and I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I know that I love what I do, but I know there's also so much more potential for me. But if it came to like running your own business, none of that is covered in school. Like, even in your business course, essentially, if you did it for A levels, I think I did. Did I? I'm pretty sure I did. I definitely did. I don't even know what my A levels are, honestly. Yeah, and like nothing like that was covered. All they talked about was a business plan. Setting up my business, I didn't even have a business plan.
Yeah.
Like, what's a business plan?
I actually paid someone to make my business plan because I hadn't a clue. Like, it was like a thing to get grants, and they asked me about my business, and I was like, I don't know, I just do makeup. Like, I don't know. And they were like, but like, what are your long-term goals? And I was like, to still just be doing makeup. I don't know.
To be better at it.
Yeah. To have a salon somewhere.
Love that. And when did you actually open your business then? Well, how old were you?
18 I started makeup, and then 19 I had like a chair in a salon, and then my 21st birthday I actually opened my own room in a salon, but I was still kind of under someone else, but it was my own business. And then from 21 then it would have been.
That's very young.
I know. I always had it in my head that wasn't young enough. Like, I should have been doing that from I was 18, but I think that's just toxic mindset. Like, I thought you have to do everything young to make it impressive. But like, that's just external validation at the 100%. End of the day.
And like, when you think back now, like 21 is young. Like,
you're a baby.
You are a baby, exactly. Like, I started my business when I was 19, and now I look back, I'm like, I was so immature. Who in the right mind let me run a business? Do you know what I mean? But, and it is like 21 is very, very impressive, because like you said, there's people in their 40s, 50s who are still trying to find that passion, and you were lucky enough to find that at a young age.
Yeah.
And you can only grow and scale your business. Like, you have staff and everything beneath you now as well.
I know. Like, 24 I still think so young. Like, I remember thinking like 24, 25 you're gonna have your babies and get married and all, and I'm like, no, I am a baby.
You are a baby. No, literally, I feel like we're at that age though where half of our friends are like settling down, getting married, getting engaged, having babies, and then me and Lauryn, she's away to Australia and I'm in Dubai. Like,
we're running far away as possible from it.
Literally, society norms, no, we're not doing that. No, I love that. And what do you think for yourself, like, from running your business, what, last 5 years has been the biggest struggle? Or what did you not expect as a business owner?
To be honest, I kind of just took everything, like, business side in my stride, but the confidence that comes with having a business, I have never been a confident person. Like, people don't believe that when I say that, because I'm quite the opposite now. But like, when I was younger, when I spoke to you, like, couldn't make conversation, and that's my whole job now. And like, I wouldn't have put myself out there. I think that was maybe the biggest struggle to get over that. But that's just changing your mindset around it. And the more your business grows, the more you grow. Like, I think of my business, it is a business, but at the same time, I just feel like it's like a growth journey. If you
of
know
course.
what I mean. Like, it's self-development thing.
100%, because I think when it is your own business, everything that you fuck up essentially in it falls back on you.
Yeah.
And you have to work through that. And because your business, like, the face of your business is you. Do you know what I mean? It's your personality. It's who you are as a person. And I think you learn a lot of that when it comes to your actual business, because I know that for myself. Like I said, like, when I was 19, I was so immature.
Yeah.
Half of me didn't even know what I was doing. And I wouldn't be where I'm at now if I didn't go through that at a young age.
Definitely.
Because you had to learn, okay, well, that didn't go right. I still want to make this work. How am I going to make that work? And you have to level up as a person as well.
I think as well, you have to, all the setbacks, if you think you're just going to start a business and it's just going to be fine, and like, like everyone behind the scenes, not everything's worked out. People put their highlight reels up, obviously, but not everything's worked out the way they think it is. You see people on social media have a business, like cosmetic brand and stuff like that, and they're just doing photo shoots, they're putting it out, they're selling out. It doesn't actually work like that in real life, but they're putting it up like that. And I think watching that from an outsider perspective, you are seeing that and being like, oh, well, mine's not going that well, I'm doing something wrong. But you have to just take everything as a learning curve. Like any setback is just going to teach you further what you need to do right, and you just need you have to stop taking everything so to heart.
100%, and comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh, definitely, I completely agree with that. Especially in my field, I find small town syndrome, obviously, but everything's so competitive in beauty. Like people will talk. I've been in situations where people have talked about other makeup artists or talk about other beauticians in like a negative way, and I'm not for that. Like I don't look at someone and be like, oh well, they're doing so much better than me, and be raging about it. I'd be like, oh well, they're doing so well, that's so nice, like I'm happy for them. I wouldn't be that I'm like, oh, I have to do better than them. I'm like, what can I learn from them?
Exactly. And I love how you said that, because that's what people do, and they look at it like, can I copy them or can I do better? And that's like, authenticity wins the game every time.
Definitely.
And people can see that clear as day. You know, if you're not being authentic to yourself, to your brand, to your business, to what it is that you're trying to promote, it's short term. Like that's going to die out, because those people who are staying authentic to what they believe in, they're the ones that's going to do well. Do you know what I mean? And I think like when people are looking at other people and wondering like, why is that not me? Why are they doing so well and I'm not? They probably essentially have something that you don't. And sometimes that hurts people, but that also comes from experience.
Yeah.
Like it's like people that compare themselves, like that have been in the industry 2 years versus somebody that's been in it 10 years.
Yeah.
Obviously they're going to be doing better, because all the issues you haven't even yet imagined existing, they've been through it and they've learned through it, you know. But RYN RYN Cosmetics, so that, would you consider that as a separate business?
Yeah. I think so. I call it like a side piece of the business. I wanted to be a different brand. Again, it's still, I just wanted to have different meanings. So the salon's the salon, but RYN, I want like a meaning behind it. So it's really your narrative. So I want the background of it to be just mindset and like how I've changed my mind to have my business and to have that incorporated also with what I love, the beauty side of it.
Of course, love that. And how long did that take you to launch?
2 years. Oh, I thought it was going to be so easy. I was so naive to it. I done the P. Louise course, and we actually had business meetings with her over Zoom on how to do stuff like this, and she made it sound so easy. And I was like, this is so easy. This is so, like, I'm just going to throw this out in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, 2 years of like even just getting a name or a logo. Like I done everything myself. I just wanted to do it all myself, to learn it all instead of paying someone. So I done it all myself, and even just down to the name took me 3 months to think of.
That's
and that
crazy.
was the first step.
That is crazy. And people don't see that.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They're like, oh, it's just another thing. She's launching a lipstick.
Yeah.
It's not that. Like, how many times did you change that lipstick, that lip liner, you know?
Crazy. You should see, I still have all the old, like all the samples, and I got them from everywhere. Like I tried China, didn't approve of their, like not all of them, but I just didn't like it's like white label, you know?
Okay.
So you're just printing your name on it. You don't get to do the, like, formulas and like colours and stuff. You don't get to do all that yourself with white label, and that would probably been the easier route, like private white label, but I just was like, no, that's too easy.
Of course. And again, it comes down to authenticity.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Because anybody that would have heard about that, say, small time mentality, they're going to copy you, they're going to get the same product. So what's the difference? Like, how do you stand out? And I think when you're passionate about something, you believe in something, you have to be different with it.
Yeah.
And like you have to essentially, because like I said earlier, you're the face of your brand. People trust you. And if you're just going for like anything that anybody could have grabbed because it's the cheapest or the easiest option, again, that will run out very quickly. Definitely. Do you know what I mean? But you can tell you've put like the work that was required to go into RYN Cosmetics, and it shows for that, you know?
Yeah. I think too, I have a very like, it's either go hard or go home.
Yeah.
Like, I have that kind of mentality. I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I've always been like obsessive. Like, if I love something, I will love it and be obsessed with it. And I think that's kind of like, able to learn about it too, so it was like my whole mindset for a while, and I think that's why I kind of went down the harder route, because I was like, no, I really enjoy actually learning about all this stuff and like talking to manufacturers and like the art, like the graphic design and stuff of it. Like I loved all that, and then now I can just go ahead and do that. Like if I wanted to do something else, like I just know the skills to do it now.
Of course you've learned as you went along, and I think that's the most important thing, because if you decide to launch something new down the line, it's going to be better and it's more than likely going to sell out faster and everything else, because you know that you've actually took the time to develop it essentially. And with regards to like the initial launch, how did it go for like from your perspective? Do you know what I mean? Were you happy with how everything went? Do you feel like you could have done something better for the future?
I'm always like, I'll be the first to criticize myself, and not in a bad way. Like I always know I can do better at anything, but I will not take it like, I should have done this or I should have done that. I'm like, oh, well, next time I'm going to do it this way. But the whole lead up to it, like, my poor mummy, I was a drama queen, like, cried my eyes out. Stuff didn't come whenever I wanted to. I had to push back the photo shoot. I had too many thoughts and it was really, really overwhelming. And mummy got the brunt of it, God love her. But seeing the day of the photo shoot, I just, like, mummy even said, and like everyone that was there was like, you were just in your element. Like, I was so happy. All the like behind the scenes things, like I'm grinning ear to ear, and I'm not really a smiler, like, but like in all the photos and like the videos, I'm laughing and happy, and I was like, that's the feeling I want to be chasing forever. Like, just that I actually done this. So I remember being really stressed and like having to organise everything and all, but the actual feeling of being in the photo shoot just kind of washed that from my brain, because I was
100%.
like, I want that feeling.
Because that's what makes it worth it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you get lost in the making of it. You get lost in the process, like the stress, everything. You almost start questioning, like, is this worth doing? Or like, why am I doing this? Like, what if it's not going to do well? You're always going to be your worst critic. And I think that's the hardest thing of being a business owner, because you never know how something's going to do. Do you know what I mean? And then once you realise, you're like, actually there's like me with my group photo shoots for my girls, like it's one of those things, I'm like, I don't know how to do it. Every single time I've done at least 10 of them now. Do you know what I mean? But every time I go into it, I'm like, I don't know how it's going to go down. What if something doesn't go to plan? And every single time the girls be like you were smiling, you were laughing, you were like freaking, like I've cried at the photo shoots and everything, not to be dramatic, but it just makes me it reminds me why I love what I do so much and like what I do it for. And I think like for yourself on the day of the photo shoot, you were like, no, this is the feeling that I wanted and this is why I was doing it. Push all the stress and everything aside.
I think though, if you weren't feeling stressed, there's no passion in it. Like you have to have, if you're just going, oh, it's grand, it'll be what it'll be, you're not passionate about that enough to have that reward of how it turns out. Like I feel like you have to go through all the emotions and you have to feel them all. And I think that's the exciting part. I love high stress. Like, even though I'm a panicker, I love high stress environments. Like, put me under, I'm like a diamond. I'll just have to put me under pressure and I'll like be good. But I just love that, like, adrenaline. I might not show it and everyone around me might hate me whenever I'm going through it, but I just love that feeling of like the pressure.
I'm the same though. It makes you work harder. Like that stress and that pressure, like I always said this, like it comes from something positive. You wouldn't be stressed if you didn't care.
Yeah.
Like the reason that you're stressed, the reason that you're worried it's not going to work out or it's not going to go perfectly is because you actually care for that. And that's the most important thing when it comes to your business, because again, you're bringing through something that you care about so much that it's actually taken away from your mental health to a certain extent. And with regards to, like, I suppose starting a business, running a business, when you first stepped into it, did you think it was going to be the way it is?
Oh, definitely not. Like, I definitely just thought I was going to be working a normal job and doing it on the side. Like, I didn't imagine, when I went into it, I never imagined owning a salon, having people work for me. Like, that was never the goal. It just kind of, the more I was in it, the more I was like, oh no, I want more. And like, I learnt more that I actually could get it. I was because I wasn't confident and I didn't have a healthy mindset, I just never thought I would ever achieve anything like that I wanted. I was like, that's so out of reach. But now I've changed my mindset and I have a healthier mindset of it. I'm like, I can do anything I want to do and I know I can. Like, if I want something, I'm just going to go get it.
It's a limiting belief, or it was a limiting belief for yourself at that time, you know, because you didn't imagine something like that for yourself. But like you said, you went and did it. And where do you think it flipped for you from a confidence perspective?
I think during lockdown, whenever I wasn't able to be in the salon and my lockdown experience was not good, like I went really put on a load of weight. I think loads of people did, like, but it really just not having that, like, just made me kind of sick in the mindset.
Yeah.
And I think coming out of that, I was like, no, I need to keep going because this is my purpose. And then I just put in the work to do it myself. Just fake it till you make it. And now, like, I can't imagine myself ever thinking the way I used to think. Or even, I don't know, I feel like I'm a different person because of my job as well. But I think the job made me push to be that person.
Of course, and I think you have to be. Do you know what I mean? Because I think running your own business, it almost brings out all the insecurities in you as well. Do you know what I mean? It brings out all the bad things that you're like, okay, shit, I need to work on this, because it does reflect on your business. Like, imagine you trying to sell a cosmetics, I can't speak today, cosmetics brand, or even like having clients come in to get their makeup done or their eyebrows done or whatever, and you were just quiet.
I know you didn't speak to them.
Yeah.
Or you were going, oh, I don't know if I like these. Like, imagine like your makeup artist going, I just don't think it's nice. Like, you have to be, I seen a thing that you have to be pushing your stuff like crack in the 80s.
Honestly.
Like, you have to believe in what you want and you have to believe you're the best. Even if there's someone better than you, I'm the best in my eyes.
But that's exactly it, because like, if you believe in yourself, like that, honestly, I don't know what the word, I'm looking for a word, but like, people can see that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're promoting something and you're genuinely passionate about something and it shows that it's your purpose, people can read that. Whereas if you, like you said, if you're doing someone's makeup and you're not even sure about the products you're putting on their face, or like, if you would believe in that, people will also feel that, and you're going to notice clients falling off because they'll go to somebody who truly believes in themselves and what they do, because that's what what it actually comes from.
I think as well, people don't actually just buy into the product or buy into the service, they're buying into you.
Yeah.
Like, a load of my clients, like, always say to me, like, they come to me for me. Like, they love coming, and like I always say, like, my clients are like my therapy. Like, we'll just go, like, after I'm like, I can't believe I told you all that, or they'll tell that to me, and I'm like, that, I just love that. But they're coming for me, or like coming for that hour of to just know they can escape. And like, obviously they do like their makeup and stuff too, but they're coming for you. Like,
of
they
course.
want to spend that time with you, they feel comfortable with you. It's their, like, that's going to get your makeup done or going to get your eyebrows done. Like, for a woman, I feel like that's something that you go, like, self-love. So if you're going somewhere that you're uncomfortable, you're taking that away from yourself as well.
100%, and you're completely right in saying that, because when it comes to business, first of all, personality sells, and that's how you build trust. Do you know what I mean? You could be the best at eyebrows in the world, but if they walked in there and you didn't make them feel welcome or comfortable, or give them that little half an hour to vent about how shit the kids and the husband have been, do you know what I mean? They won't come back to you. They will go to somebody that does their eyebrows well and allows that for that. Do you know what I mean? Because people, like, when it comes to your returning clients, that's built off trust, and that's the only thing. Same for me. People can buy a workout plan, a nutrition plan anywhere. You can freaking ChatGPT it now. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can get that absolutely anywhere. But I know, like, any clients that are returning to like coach with me, they're returning for me. They're not returning for somebody else, because they could go to a different coach if they wanted to. Because more or less, like, every coach is going to give you a similar enough workout plan, because there's only so many ways that you can write it, you know. And obviously same goes for you, but 100%, like, your brand is your face, it's your personality, and that shows.
It's your baby too. You have to nurture it.
Of course, you have to look after it in every way. But no, I love that. And you have, like, what, you've been in this 7 years now? No,
From 18.
I stand miles.
I don't even know either.
5 years. And like, can you even compare yourself to the person you were at that time compared to now?
Definitely not. Like, a completely different person. Like, I just can't believe the person I've grown into. Like, I have so much self-love for myself. Like, I know people are like, oh, she loves herself. I actually do. And
good.
I do. And like, my mindset and everything, like, I'm a completely different person. Like, even the way I act, I just feel like I've grown up in a sense, but I've also just completely healed, and that's just because I've had to.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. And you should love yourself. Do you know what I mean? If you don't love yourself, who will, Lauryn?
No.
No, honestly though, and especially, like, you do, and that comes with growth as well. And see those people that are like saying like, oh, that sounds stuck up whenever somebody says they love themselves. You just need to work on yourself.
Yeah.
That's the only response I have to that. Like, because like, it's almost judged when people say like, oh, like, I love myself, I love what I do. That is the way it should be. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you not love yourself when your job is essentially to make other women feel better? Or men?
I think though, like as well, like you have to, like, I don't know, like loving yourself isn't a stuck up thing. You're your constant. Like if you spoke to yourself the way, or like say your best friend spoke to themselves in a certain way, you would, because you love them, you're not going to let them do that. Or like someone speak to them like that, why would you let yourself or someone else speak to you a certain way or let you feel a certain way?
100%. And you are going to be your own worst critic. And this one thing I always say, like if somebody else is putting you down every single day, or they're commenting on something every single day, that's what you start to believe. And where our insecurities come from, it's usually not other people. Like sometimes other people spark that, but it's you, for example, telling yourself, I won't be able to do this, I won't succeed, I'm not good enough. If you're telling yourself that every single day, you have no other way of thinking. Like that is your limiting belief, because that's the only thing you're going to believe. Whereas if you actually shift your mindset and be like, you know what, I will do well, I am good enough or whatever, you believe in that, and guess what, you're going to fucking do it.
You speak everything into existence, like.
Yeah, universe and all that.
Which
The
stuff?
Lulu. No, and I am such a big believer in that. And honestly, like I used to be like in quite a, I wouldn't say a negative headspace, but I would have been very like stuck, like I don't know what's next, I don't know what I'm doing, etc., etc. And that's when I realized I needed to work on my own shit as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I was just fed up of my shit.
Yeah.
I was like, one, I don't want to feel like this, and I know it's affecting other aspects of my life. And like you said, my business is my baby. Same goes to you. Do you know what I mean? That baby needs looking after. I can't run a highly efficient business all about confidence, success, you know, being the best version of yourself when I'm not that.
Yeah,
so
you just
like,
bland.
yeah, exactly. And I did feel like a fraud because I couldn't actually promote that. Whereas now that I know I'm in a place where like I am as confident as I've ever been, and I've accomplished things that I wouldn't have ever thought I would have accomplished. Now I feel like you can see that on my brand as well.
Definitely, yeah.
You know? And obviously same goes for you, because like even for yourself, like it's a skill that you're doing. You're constantly getting better, but going from simply doing makeup to opening a salon to hiring staff to opening a cosmetic. Why is that such a hard word? To selling products. Like that's all like building blocks, but you 5 years ago wouldn't have been able to open that second side hustle, do you know what I mean, or a separate business, because you wouldn't even have known where to start.
Yeah.
Or you probably wouldn't even have had like the interest to research all of that and do the marketing stuff.
I probably would have went to private label route.
Yeah, exactly. But tell me this, for yourself, like obviously you've put yourself out a lot on social media. Do you think that made a difference for your business and its growth?
Definitely. I think social media, you have to do it. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I think it's down to how you use it. Like,
Yeah.
you're in complete control of your social media. Like, if you don't want to follow people that are not something you align with, just don't follow them. But I think a lot of people don't do that. But, like, for in terms of a business, yeah, you definitely have to. Like, you know yourself with like influencers and stuff. If they're selling something, you believe in it because you feel like you know them.
You trust them.
You need that trust. Even like I've had people come up to me in the shop, A-list celebrity in the Gannon, but like saying about, oh, you do makeup and all, and like I thought that was so weird, but that's just from social media. They just see your Instagram.
No, I'm the exact same. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm so delulu, I think people don't know me. Like, honestly. And they'd be like, oh my God, the glute girl. Oh, I seen your Instagram. I'm like, where? Why?
But who?
Who are you talking about? But yeah, 100%. I completely agree. And with social media, like, it is one of those things. I'm the same. I love social media for the right reasons, but I hate social media as well.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of years ago, I deleted everything. I deleted Facebook, Snapchat, which actually... a good shout. I don't want that one back. But the only thing I kept was my Instagram. But like I had a private one at the time. I deleted my private one. I just went off social media. And it was honestly the best thing for me because it made me just focus on like the Glute Girl page, which now is the only page I have for business. And I unfollowed like all the accounts I didn't want to follow. And I think that's so important. Like one thing I always say is like you set your tone for the day. And in our generation, that comes from social media. So if you open Instagram at 6 a.m. in the morning and the first thing you see is somebody being negative or somebody complaining or giving off, that's the tone you're setting for the rest of the day, and you're in control of that. Like if somebody's bringing you down, just unfollow them and then you'll see raccoons on my Instagram.
And mine's beavers.
Really?
I love them. No, I definitely do agree with that. I think as well, like, it can be so toxic. Like, have you seen that trend with the AI chubby filter?
No.
It's like, you know, those ones that are like AI and it changes your photo. Oh, I went on a big rant about this yesterday. I was so cross. I don't put stuff like that up either, and I put it up. I was like, it's so like close-minded, like, just think. But it's like what you would look like if you were chubby, and it's these girls putting it up, and like, people look like that, and they're putting it up anyway. And I literally, like, even if you're skinny, that can still hurt you, because I actually
100%.
found a photo of myself whenever I was at my skinniest, whenever I think I was like 15, like ridiculously skinny, and I thought I looked like the second half of it. And if I had seen that at that age, that would have broke my heart, even though I didn't look like that. But like that kind of social media, like jumping on trends like that, I was so cross. Like, I literally was like, it's just so close-minded. Social
media is so toxic though.
I know.
So toxic, especially when it comes to that side of things. And people do fall onto trends. Like, the amount of trends, especially in my industry that I see, and like, I go on and rant all the time. Do you know what I mean? But I could easily hop onto them, make myself go viral. Do you know what I mean? Like, social media is toxic for that as well. Like, people blow up, their pages blow up for the wrong reasons.
Definitely. And it's a quick way to be famous.
Yeah, exactly. And no, fuck that. Like, that means nothing to you, because that's not actually going to bring you business either. Like, if you're growing your social media following for the right reasons, and you also want to attract the right people to your business, do you know what I mean? And like, say for example, jumping onto trends like that, like, imagine I did something like that.
I know.
Like, my business would shut down. Do you know? And rightfully so. Like, I fully agree with that, because like you said, it's like what I'm promoting versus the trend, for example, like, that's going completely what I'm supporting, saying like, be confident the way you are. Yes, if that means for yourself gaining weight or losing weight is going to make you more confident, that's fine. Like, let that suit you. But jumping on an AI trend about what you would look like chubbier that's actually disgusting.
No, I was so shocked. I literally audibly gasped when I seen it. Like, I was like, I can't believe people are doing stuff like this in this day and age. And I actually there was a couple of people that I seen that I kind of knew doing it, and after I put up my rant, I seen they took it down, and I was like, well, it's not a witch hunt. Like, people make mistakes. You might just not have thought of the other person, but always, just before you do anything, put yourself in other people's shoes.
100%. I couldn't agree more with that. But yeah, reverting back essentially to the business side of things, and like, social media for business, that's our CV at the minute, isn't it?
Definitely. I actually had to make a CV for like going away, and I was like, how do I even do this? Like,
just look at my Instagram.
Yeah, like, just go on my Instagram. What do you mean? Like, I don't know what you says I have.
No, honestly, I have no idea. I think my parents have the page, and that's another thing. Like, whenever I was saying like, school is a fraud, like, don't get me wrong, go to school, you know, do well in school, keep yourself right in terms of that. I'll never say drop out or anything like that. But I know for myself, like, my parents put so much pressure on me when I was in school. Like, you have to do top girl. And now looking back, I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful, because I have that in the background if I ever need it. But for what I wanted to do, like, it wasn't the traditional route of go to university and become a lawyer, a nurse, or whatever else. Like, I know I didn't want that for myself. But the grades that I was being pushed on, and also the A levels I was being pushed into by teachers, were taking me down that route. But that's just me chasing somebody else's dream and not my own.
You were just doing what you were told too. Like, I think when you're younger, you don't have that in you to be like, I don't want to do that. Like, you just think everyone else is right bar yourself. You don't trust your gut.
But you're too young.
Yeah.
You're too young to trust your gut. Like, at 16, even at 18, you do not know even a part of yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, your frontal lobe develops when you're 25. I'm just mine. You don't even have yours. I'm just about figuring mine out. And this is the thing, like, even now, like, yes, I know what I'm doing and I know what I want with my business, but I still don't know what I see in my future. Like, am I going to be doing this forever? What's the next step for me, and that sort of thing? And I don't think you ever know that.
I actually think about that all the time. Like, I would go like through and like, people are always like, oh, Lauryn, the makeup artist. I'm like, but what if someday I just don't want to do that? Like, do I have to do this forever just because that's what everyone thinks of me?
Is this my identity?
Yeah, like, I'm so much more than just a makeup artist. But I always think about that. Like, I'm like, if I just wanted to not do it, would I be able to do that? I don't think I have it that I would want to change, but like, I just feel like you have to be so in with yourself to be like, well, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just will never figure that out. When the time comes, you figure that out. Like,
100%, because I always think about it, I'm like, Nobody's gonna come online coach for me when I'm 60.
Do you have all the staff?
See, but this is exactly it. So then my head goes into future plan and I'm like, am I going to be coaching forever? Realistically not. Like, I'm growing a brand now. I'm not just growing Ista. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have a brand for that reason and I'm taking staff on and stuff like that. So I'll be 60 having my cup of tea and they're going to be in their 20s.
You'll be raging
in the gym.
Do you though, I always think about like how in a business you're constantly thinking about the future. Do you ever find that does, sorry, I'm interviewing you
No,
now.
I love this. I love this.
Do you ever find that you feel like you're not living in the present because you're so focused on the future?
100%.
I feel like that too sometimes.
110%. And I get wee moments. So, and it comes from work again. So like about a month ago, I did a post. You know, I met my younger self for a coffee post. Mm-hmm. I literally cried as I was doing that post. Not like I was upset, you know what I mean? But I literally like cried doing that post because I'm like, fucking hell, Ista, you've actually done a lot. Do you know what I mean? It makes me reflect in moments like this. So like at certain times I do look back and I'm like, 19-year-old Ista would have never. Do you know what I mean? She was working freaking 80-hour weeks in the gym, like didn't see anything outside of that. And like I do get wee moments of gratitude like that, but and then I'll be present. But when on my day to day, I can't, like my brain is like a month in the future, 6 months in the future. Like I already know what I'm launching in 2027.
Yeah.
And like that's not normal. Do you know what I mean? But like in my head, I'm like, right, this is the next step. This is the next step, that I forget to sort of like reflect back on where I actually started to versus where I am now. Because I feel like you never feel like you're doing enough.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that?
In every like instance in my life, I feel like I'd be like that. But I always like, even like in the gym and all, like progress pictures, like I always go right once a month and look back on like when I first started in the salon and then like my last makeup, and then that's whenever you're like, oh god, that's some difference. Or even like last month's makeup to like my recent makeup, I'm like, even that's such a big jump. Like I think you have to actually like put your focus and then like set time for it. Like I was listening to a podcast and she said about setting time for worrying, like scheduling your worrying. So she said pick a place in your house where you don't really be in and worry in there for an hour of your day or an hour of your week, and schedule your worrying so you're not taking it outside. So I've started doing that, scheduling my worrying. So like 6 o'clock on like a Friday is my worry time.
I'm on a Friday going straight into the week. I think there's a better time to do it. But no, as you were speaking, I was going to actually ask you something. Yes. Do you struggle switching off?
Oh, so bad. Like, I just feel like I have to be doing something all the time. I think I'm getting better at it, but my better's still not very good. But yeah, I struggle so bad switching off. At bedtime, I'd be sitting talking away to myself and like figuring out what I'm doing the next day. Yeah. And like, I'm a list maker, like, and if I haven't checked something off on my list, I'll freak out. But I'm trying to, and like I said earlier, I'm trying to not be a control freak.
Yeah, no, but honestly though, when you're running your own business, I feel like you have to be.
Definitely.
Because nobody else is going to do it for you. And I think that's the hardest that's the hardest thing that people don't realize. Like I know for myself, like I really struggle at being present at like different, like if I'm meeting up for a coffee with somebody, I struggle being present because in the back of my mind, I'm like, I need to do this when I get home. I haven't done this yet. I need to take care of this. Do you know what I mean? Like I never actually switch off. I am getting better at it. Like I can actually be more present, and like I'll put, like if I go for a walk with one of my friends, I leave my phone in the car because I know if I don't, I'll be like, oh, I need a voice note this, I need to do this, I need to send a payment. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I know if it wasn't for that, my business wouldn't be growing. I feel like you need that to a certain extent, but also my business isn't gonna grow if I'm completely burnt out and I'm going to be looking back at my 20s going, when most people were living their best lives partying, Ista was stuck to the laptop every single minute of every single day.
It's so hard. I think you need to not focus on that too. Like looking back, like in your 20s, saying you wasted it because you haven't. I always struggle with that. My friends would have went out, my friends, all girls' holidays and all. I just didn't go because I was like, oh, well, I can't. And then I would have always said like, oh, well, I'm wasting my 20s. Like, I don't know, like I'm going to look back and I've done nothing. But you still have done so much.
You've done a lot more than other people.
You haven't wasted your money. Holidays, of course, traveling, all brilliant, but if that's not what you're into, don't have to be pressured to do it. Like
just because you're in your 20s.
Yeah,
I completely agree with that. Like see the mind, like I barely drink. Like it's a very rare occasion. most people might drink. Why can I not speak today? Most people my age love to drink. Like, and whenever I go out, people don't get it. Like, I'll still go out. I'll be present. I'll put myself in the environment where I can, but I'll not drink. And everyone's like, why are you not drinking? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Are you doing another diet phase? I was like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, no, I just have work tomorrow and I don't want to be like, I'm not going to jeopardize my business to be hungover. Don't get me wrong. Every now and again I go out and I love a drink, but I do look back on that, like thinking like I see other people my age and they're like out every single night of the week living their best lives. I'm like, should I be doing that? But then when I actually strip it back, I'm like, that's, first of all, that's not who I am. And that's not something that I would even enjoy. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I actually have my business, which is my baby, that I'm passionate and I'm excited about to wake up to every single day instead of a hangover.
But why do people think that life just ends after your 20s?
I know.
Like, they're like, oh, you're wasting your 20s, but I have my 30s, my 40s, my 50s, my 60s. Like, but what?
Me and Lauryn are going to be 60 on a holiday, drinking every night of the week, catching up. And do you notice, like, your friends, or maybe, like, not your friends anymore, but, like, people around you, whenever you did sort of, like, start focusing on your business and saying no to people, that they would make, like, snarky comments?
Oh, I got stuck up so much. Like, people that I was friends with, she's so stuck up now, she has her business. I'm like, whatever, like, yeah. I'm definitely not. Or like, people always, it's so weird, people always assume I've just came from money or something. Like, I've got that so many times, which is so far from the truth, but it's just because I've been able to do something. But yeah. People are like, oh well, she's got money. I'm like,
because you fucking worked for it, that's why you've got money.
But people just think I was just born into that, like daddy money kind of thing. But it's so far from the truth, but I just don't care anymore. At the start, it would have been like, oh, they hate me now, or like, oh, like they're not going to like me because I have this, or they think I'm weird. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, and look, I was the exact same. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, like, even moving countries, like, people think like, oh, like, somebody's paying for this or somebody's doing this. My parents moved from Lithuania to here for a better life. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have any of that. Mm-hmm. Like, they did not come from money. And like, even me being in the fitness industry, I don't know anybody else that was doing it. I literally started with no experience, no connections, nothing, and I just built that as I went. But look, that's just jealousy from people because You're doing something that they wouldn't feel like they'd be able to do in that time, you know. But for anybody that is essentially quite young, not even quite young, anybody, I'm gonna say, like, that's looking to start their own business, what is the one piece of advice that you would give them?
Just do it. I feel like if you have the thought in your head of it, if you can think something, you can do it. If you have an idea, go for it. If it doesn't work out, try it again, try something else, go a different route. Like, just take everything in a stride, but just do it. Like, don't continue thinking about it, just take the jump. I
always say, if the thought's in your head, it means that you need to go and do that. You wouldn't be thinking about it if you didn't want it. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people spend too much time thinking about it and doing nothing, but that thought's always going to stay. Whereas if you think about it, okay, well, I've planted the seed, I've been thinking about it for a while, go and do it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And you will make mistakes and you'll mess up and everything else. If you're passionate about it, you'll use that as a learning curve and do better for the next time. And again, if it doesn't work, you don't have to do it again. Do you know what I mean? On to the next thing. But take the risk. I think it's always better to fail than to regret never doing it. Like, 100%. I'd rather be at the end thinking, like, all the things I've failed about and thinking how I've learnt from them, rather than, oh, I wish I had done that. Of course. That's my biggest fear, is regretting not doing something. Because the last thing you want to do is look back down the line and be like, oh, I wish I did that. Like, I hear that so much. Like, God love my dad, like, he's living his best life or whatever, but like, I know he would have loved to travel and he didn't, so now he's living through me in that sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, he always says like, oh, what can you do, how can I move my business on? He's a lorry driver, by the way. Like, you can't, lorries. Yeah, literally, I'm like, you can't do that, but there's always an avenue. But I think I've lost my train of thought where I was going with that, to be honest. Yeah, my dad would always say that, like, he wish he would have done a lot more of that when he was younger, but like, at the time he didn't have the means and circumstances were obviously different. Whereas if you've got the means, if you're in a financial situation where you can travel or start a business, or even if you don't, what are you going to do to work towards that? Do you know what I mean? Always use life as a stepping stone, because that's what it is. There's always a path to it as well. Yeah. Like, if you don't have the financial means,
get into debt. Getting into debt, everyone thinks it's such a bad thing. It's not. For a business, you have to get into debt, take loans out. 100%. You have to spend money to make money, and I think that's such a scary concept. I never wanted to take loans out and stuff, and that was such a scary concept to me, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to be paying this back forever, but it actually doesn't even work like that. Obviously within moderation, but you have to there's always an avenue for it, and it always works out.
Of course, to scale your business, you have to invest in your business, and people don't see that. They think like, oh, you start a business, the money just starts flowing. No, it comes like this. It comes down even worse. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's been months you be in a minus, and there's months you're going to be making more money than you've ever made, but you'll also stay stuck there if you don't invest.
I worked 3 jobs while starting my business, and I still would work other jobs just for another income. But like, it's not as easy as just your business is going to take off. It's not. No. It's not very likely there's going to be your livelihood right away. Like, it might pocket money, but you still need your backup. Like, I was working a Monday and Tuesday job, working a different job on a Wednesday and a Thursday, doing the Friday, Saturday in the salon, but it was still my business, working evenings and stuff, but it's still a business. Like, that's not embarrassing, having to do other things. Where I thought, if someone seen me working like at a cafe, they'd be like, oh, well, her business is not doing well.
Yeah.
But it's actually doing better because I am doing this.
100%, and I completely agree, because I was the same. I used to work in Linden in a meat factory alongside PTing, do you know what I mean? And I agree, it was that aspect of like embarrassment of, oh, what are people gonna think? But at the end of the day, I had to survive. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to make your money one way or another. And then, like, when I decided to make the move online, it took me about 1.5 years to actually take the leap, because I needed to feel financially stable in order to do that. And the thing with running your own business, it's unstable. Yeah. Until you reach a certain point, you know what I mean? It is going to be up and down. You're going to have your highest month, and the next month is going to be your lowest month, and that's just the way of it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's, I think, December and January, if you're ever in salon or beauty business. December, you think you're a multi-millionaire, you're like getting all this money for gift vouchers and all, and you've spent it by January, and then you're like, oh God, I don't want to do this anymore, I have no money. And then February comes, it's Valentine's Day, and you're all happy again.
Yeah, absolutely, it's seasonal, 100%. But thank you so much for coming on today.
No problem.
Really, really nice to have you, and thank you so much for sharing your journey, essentially, because I think a lot of people are so scared of taking the leap. But yeah, of course there's lows, but there's also so many highs that come with running your own business. And yeah, it was lovely to have you on.
Definitely, thank you so much for having me on. Let me talk about myself for an hour.
We love that, self-love. And of course, thank you everyone for watching and listening, and I will see you next Wednesday.